it is a shrew word which keeps on decaying, which keeps on disintegrating. That is shariram. So the noun usually reveals the nature of the object. That noun itself So there are most of the words by the laws of Panini, certain suffixes and sometimes prefixes are added to derive a noun, proper noun. The noun, as I said, the noun which is used for a given object reveals the nature of the object also. If you happen to know the roots and if you happen to know derivatives of the words, it will tell you this is the nature. So the language still પહેલેથી કરી રાખો અત્યારે તમે કરો ચાલો ઓકે. Similarly, this word Upanishad is derived from the root sad. Sanskrit roots, or in English also, the word has many meanings. This sad root has three meanings. Avasadane, Visharane, Gatiyarthe. Three meanings. To avasadana means shithilikaranam, to loosen. And avasadana means to destroy. To loosen, to destroy, and to go. Gati means movement. It is three meanings. Avasadana, shithirane, shithilikarane, avasadane, gatyarthe. Now this word, sat verb, has two prefixes, upa and ni. Something is loosened, something is destroyed, and you are somewhere, you are going. Vidya of going somewhere, it is stopped. What is loosened? That is given by upa plus ni. The bondage is loosened. Samsara bandhanam is loosened. What is destroyed? Ignorance, self-ignorance is destroyed. And where is it that you go? You go to Brahman, means you know Brahman. In Shastra, the verbs implying movement of going are in a sense of knowing. There is no going. Why? Because what you want to achieve is you. And therefore, the going is said figuratively. Just as the very freedom is figurative. You are already free. Even when you say, I am bound, you are already free. What is bondage? Subjectivity is bondage. What is shithilikaranam? Loosening of the bondage. Or you can say relative freedom from bondage. That is objectivity. What is objectivity? In a popular terms, it is called as vairagya. Please understand, vairagya is not an action. Vairagya is the way you look at the things. That Vairagya is growth. Vairagya is wisdom. Vairagya is maturation. What kind of wisdom? What kind of maturation? What kind of growth? We usually impute subjective values on things, beings and situations. In Gitaji's language, it is called ragadvesha. That is subjectivity. Subjectivity in terms of I like this. Subjectivity in terms of I am happy with this. Or I shall become happy. I shall gain some fulfillment. This is all subjectivity. Exactly like a child. All of us must have played with the balloons. But we had subjectivity towards balloons that it will give me happiness. Might have played with the marbles. There was subjectivity. More marbles I have, more richer I am. There was a value. Certain games. If I win, then I am happy. If I am lose, then I am unhappy. And nobody wants to become unhappy. Therefore, all the time I should win. And when the situation, and nobody can win all the time, and the situation go against me, I will cut the corner. Fortunately, as a child, I played with my grandpa who allowed it. When you grow up, you can't do that. Referee is there, umpire is there. So it doesn't work that way. That is subjectivity. Small thing. At each stage of life, we keep on imputing subjectivity on objects, people, beings, situation, etc. Subjectivity in terms of what I should be doing. Subjectivity in terms of what is successful living. Subjectivity in terms of what will enhance my self-esteem. These are all subjective values. Each one has a picture of an ideal I. I that is acceptable to me. I that gives me self-satisfaction. Some picture. Someone may have a picture that if I have so much of money, then I am successful. There are certain common elements. Money, but how much is subjective. Name and fame is universal ideal. My name appeared in a TV. I was called for this interview, etc., etc. I have so many followers on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever X. These are all subjective standards. That is successful I. And the most unfortunate aspect of it is, by the time you achieve that target, you yourself further enhance the target. The bar is put up. I didn't have money, thought if I have some 100,000 rupees, I will be happy. You start getting 100,000, now the requirement is 10,000. Then the requirement is 100,000. It goes on all the time. That is true with Vishayas, situations, people, relationship, yasha, name and fame, everything. This subjectivity is bondage. Shithilikaranam means what? Loosening of the bondage means what? Vairagya means what? To understand that none of these achievements will give me permanent happiness that I want. None of this will give me fullness, completeness that I am seeking through these achievements. They may be required to conduct myself. It is one thing to have them, because you have to transact in the world as long as you are alive. And given your position in the society, in the family, whatever, you require certain means to do the job. You require certain means to survive. But that is one thing to look upon them as incidental requirement. That is a vairagya. But to look upon them as ultimate requirement, that is raga. That is bondage. That is the problem. In fact, what makes us unhappy is not absence or presence of a given vastu or given person. More often than not, it is our subjective value that makes us happy and unhappy. To the extent you appreciate, as Pujya Swamiji often said, what is vairagya? Very loaded definition. To know that there is no connection between what I want and what I am doing. That's vairagya. As a child, I wanted toys and the games and the dolls to feel happy. There is no connection. You may feel happy, but that is happiness is because of subjectivity. I wanted permanent happiness. Nothing can give you permanent happiness. Appreciate them. So, in a technical language, Sanskrit language, they are not paramartha sadhanani. They are not moksha sadhana. They are only vyavhara sadhana. They are useful for transaction. In other words, they have only transactional reality, not absolute reality. Appreciate this fact. And nothing wrong in using or having. Presence of objects, presence of some people in life and relations doesn't mean that the person is ragi, is attached or is bound. An absence of everything doesn't mean the person is a dispassionate, is a virakta. You may have things, you may or may not have money. What is important that money will not make me ultimately happy. That's all you have to appreciate. Total happiness I cannot get. You require some money for transaction, have it. Money per se or any given object per se is not bad, is not harmful. It is the way you look at it, way you appreciate it is harmful. To you, not to others. There are certain objective realities. True, certain food is harmful to your body, that is okay. You may not eat. Certain lifestyle is harmful to you, that is okay. But then more often than not, this subjective imputation of given value of being happy through this is raga. So, this vidya taught in Upanishad loosens those bondages in terms of subjectivity, values. Well, as I repeat, our subjectivity towards myself also. What is my definition of successful living? Hey, this much money, this much connection, these parties and this, then it changes. Age-wise also it keeps on changing. Secondly, destroys. This subjectivity is basically born out of self-ignorance. The fundamental problem of a human being is self-ignorance. And the self-ignorance caused by self-awareness, self-judgment. This gift of Ishvara in terms of buddhi is a double-edged weapon. We are gifted with this special instrument called buddhi. Capacity to know, to think, to project, to analyze, to infer, all this is because of buddhi. You can visualize in 3 dimensions. That is also because of buddhi. That is there, and you become aware of the things. And the same buddhi, the same buddhi has jignasa, desire to know. It's a very beautiful thing, a unique gift, and we have taken it for granted. Humanity, if you look at the Darwinian theory, our ancestors were like those animals in the jungle. Fact that we have evolved to this level, fact that we have come to artificial intelligence, is just because of buddhi. We became aware of the things what is outside, analyzed, inferred, and draw the judgment, draw the knowledge. And we learned also through buddhi. The science made some discoveries, but the same buddhi through technology converted that knowledge into comfortable life, into safe life, safe living compared to them. All this is because of buddhi. That buddhi which is aware about the world outside and draws judgment about the world is aware about oneself also. Self-consciousness, self-awareness is as though complete in a human being. These animals, they are not aware about their pedigree. They don't know, the dog doesn't know. I am Labrador or German Shepherd or Alsatian or Pomeranian, doesn't know. And if you have a puppy gifted to you by your friend who lives just a few blocks away, that puppy doesn't know my mother is only a few blocks away. And every day afternoon, let me go and see my mom. But daughter-in-law will go every day. She will go to mother and every day will talk on the phone or what. Doesn't have awareness. Their self-awareness seems to be limited to self-protection and self-propagation. They just know from whom to be afraid of. They just know what to eat and what not to eat. That's all. It takes so much of time to train them, and that too few of them only are trainable in certain way. You can train a dog, but can't train a donkey. Have you ever seen? You can train a horse, but not donkey. They can't be trained. Whereas with this buddhi, there is self-awareness about myself. And that awareness has led to some self-judgment, self-conclusion. Who am I? There is some conclusion. And that conclusion again is subjective. There is some universality in terms of sex, I am man or woman, etc. But then Again, subjectivity, I am Indian, American, African, Japanese, etc. But within that also I belong to this state. Again, in that I belong to this class. There is subjectivity. But one universality is there, that is, I am incomplete. I am unhappy. There is a self-judgment. Without money, incomplete. With money also, incomplete. In other words, dissatisfied self. Discontent self. With my own body also. Though there are many chances to repair it in certain way. But looking at a mirror only the problem starts. My forehead is not like this, this brow is not like this, these eye hairs are not that. All discontent. As Puja Swami Dayanji had very aptly observed, this Miss Universe contest, the lady is declared, you are Miss World or Miss, there are now so many Miss, you are this. He said, you always look at their expression. She just does like this, and my God, she can't believe. She can't believe that I am the one. And having had that, you are declared you are the most beautiful in the whole world. Next day onwards, she should not use any cosmetics because you are most beautiful. Already declared. That in presence of so-called qualified jury across the world, there who know some qualification, parameters to decide. But next day onwards, she will do more makeup. Doesn't accept. In spite of being declared the most beautiful woman on the earth at this moment, she is dissatisfied with her own look. Has to change the hairstyle, change makeup colors and whatnot. There is a whole billions of dollars of industry. That conclusion is an expression of self-ignorance. I am dissatisfied. This sense, please understand, centered on I. It is I who is unhappy. It is I who is dissatisfied. It is I who is discontent. This sense or self-awareness about me is not acceptable to myself. When someone says, I don't like my hair, that means I am dissatisfied with reference to hair. I am discontent with reference to hair. I don't like the color of my skin. The I is dissatisfied. This sense of dissatisfaction centered on I is caused by imputing I on the body-mind complex. Rather than saying, I am not a bit handsome, I am ugly, the right statement should be, with reference to my face, I don't look handsome. That's all. When in our Shastric language, when the I identifies with the body-mind complex, that there is a sense of incompleteness, sense of dissatisfaction, sense of being unhappy. When you ask somebody, why are you unhappy? Ultimately it will come here. The fellow is told, why are you unhappy? You see, my son is useless. He doesn't study well. I am such a qualified person, gold medalist. I have this many academic qualification, and that fellow doesn't even do his graduation. Well, that means you are dissatisfied as a father. Yes, yes. But by what? Through what you became father? Through body. You are not the father. With reference to body, you are a father. Since I own this body, I possess this body, that is also incidental. As long as this janma is there, you have this body. So the fatherhood is incidental. So I am incidentally unhappy. That's a right statement. And you don't become unhappy. Incidentally, this is not okay. That's all. So whole problem is centered on this body-mind complex. Identification with physio-psycho-complex. I sense in this. This sense being against my nature, by nature I am Purna. The self is complete. Self is Ananda. Chidananda Rupaha Shivo. I am Ananda. Self is full. Satyam Gnanam Anantam. That is my nature. That is my Swarupa. Then how come I don't feel happy? That is a problem. The only answer is self-ignorance. The very question is illegitimate. If I am Ananda, why do I feel unhappy? That is not I have to answer, you have to answer. I am telling you, you are Ananda and you feel unhappy. Only answer is because of self-ignorance. So the fundamental problem of human being, of self-dissatisfaction, self-discontentment, sense of being unhappy is caused by self-ignorance. To remove that self-ignorance, to grow out of self-ignorance, or rather would be to to grow out of sense of incompleteness, there is constant compulsive pursuit to possess something or to give up something. Pravrutti or nivrutti. It is going on. Constant compulsion. Right from childhood. And that pravrutti, nivrutti is directed by subjective values. What do I possess? What would I want? And what is it that I would want to give up is guided by your subjective. So that removal of self-ignorance, the body of knowledge that addresses this ignorance. What ignorance? Ignorance about the self. And what is an ignorance is not tangible per se, but its expression is tangible. The sense of being limited, sense of being incomplete, the sense that I am unhappy. That is removed, that is destroyed, that is called avasadhanam of ignorance. And when that ignorance is destroyed or removed, right word is removed, then you own up your true nature, that is Ananda, that is fullness, that is Sukha, that is completeness. And all that is called as Brahman, fullness. The very meaning of the word Brahman is fullness. Brahma Gamayati. It takes you to Brahman. As I said, going in the Shastra, whenever it is used, is in the sense of knowing. It is a figurative use. Why? In ignorance, you always felt that fullness or happiness is away from me and I have to gain it. I have to achieve it. Since that misconception is there, that is accepted for the time being, and with reference to that misconception it is told, you will reach Brahman. As such, there is no reaching. As such, there is no going. Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam. Not understanding this, many acharyas and many sampradayas, they think that we have to literally go. I heard one Swami in a big gathering. I was as a guest of honor invited. Some project got completed, and he said, the Guru, Vachanam, Shraddha, that is the typical asset of Hindus. I am promising you, all those who have done seva to this project, for them Vimanam will come. Plane. When you die, the plane will come to take you to Dham. Bhagavan. I said, how many sorties he will have? And then he said, so many lakh people have worked for this project. So many thousand full-time and so many part-time and so many give 3 months and 6 months. The whole total summation was more than 10 lakhs people have contributed. I mean 10 lakh times he has to come. That Viman, because they are not going to die at the same time. Or Bhagavan will have to keep fleet of Vimanas, planes, like Etihad Airlines, They have some 800 planes, they're huge airlines. So that Vaikuntha Airlines, Thakurji Airlines must have a fleet of Vimanas and make trip all and they claimed also, devotees all over the world, from Africa and Europe continent and North American continent, everywhere people have come. So every time Bhagavan has to issue a boarding pass, bring only this fellow who was connected to this project. Again, same thing. Most of the religion promises completeness or happiness hereafter. You can't make it here, have it here. And there is a beautiful picture. Like before the advent of this technology of TV and 3G and 4G and 5G business, when you guys must have gone to US, people didn't know what is America. And when you write a letter, only aerogram letter was there, and you write it used to reach here after 15 days. Minimum 15 to 20 days. And when they come, people would want to know how is America. So through some knowledge, people thought if I go to America, I'll be happy forever. Like that story, Prince and princess got married and then became happy forever. That is never. Never become happy. And they became complete. It is never. Like this modern by proposing on Valentine's Day, I am incomplete without you. Murkha Shiromani, you are incomplete, she is more incomplete. Two incomplete cannot make one complete. Simple mathematics, two finite things cannot create infinity. So she would add to your incompleteness. Don't go for it, but fellow, that is called raga, seeking fullness in something. So also they think if I go to US, I will become happy forever. So also going to Loka. You just need when human mind to become unhappy. Anywhere. When you see some buffalo, especially in India, cows and buffalo sitting on the road and cuddling the food, in spite of all traffic, they are in Brahmananda. they are Sthita Prajna, Mati Stira, and you feel, wow, what a happy. Just put a human mind in her mind and body, she will be happy. You need human mind. So having gone to heaven also the same problems. Anger and jealousy and frustration, that's what our stories depict. That way Indian vision of Swarga is better. The king of heaven is also shown incomplete. Indra, always going for some expedition to steal the horses. That's all his business is. And there is nothing to do, then only he has time to enjoy. Poor fellow. And there are aggression from the Rakshasas all the time. And they are like Pakistanis to Indian border. Every day you have to be on guard. You can't relax. What's the use of being in heaven? So they have all imagination. Vimanam will come. So what? You may go in a business class or first class. So what? You may go in a chartered plane, but that mind is same. So it is not going, please understand. When it is said going, you thought you are away from it. General belief is, at least I am away from God. You are the one, Tattvamasi. You are not away, it is you. Like that famous shloka of Hanumanji. Deha buddhya tu dasosmi. From the body standpoint of view, I am dasa. Jiva buddhya tvad amshaka. From the standpoint of individuality, I am part of it. From the standpoint of the self, atma buddhya tvamevaha. You are me. That is the truth. You have to discover. So there is no going involved. It is only with reference to that notion of being away. It is figuratively said, you will go. Like somebody seeing in a dream, that fellow has been jailed for whatever reason, his imagination, and wakes up. How I am released from jail. There was no bond. You were never in jail. Where is the question of release? You were never away. Where is the question of going? So, Brahma gamayati. Arthat Brahma janati. Fellow knows Brahma. All these Upanishad is a body of the word which does this. When you study, ultimately, it makes you or helps you to discover, own up that you are Brahman. Then why so many? Two things. Their names, they are not indicative of different knowledge. Ishavasya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Katha Upanishad. This body of the words appear in different sections of different Vedas. Therefore, there are many. And the name is given also because of for no reason. Kena Upanishad is given Kena because the very first word of that set of mantras is Kene Shitam Patati Preshit. Similarly, Ishavasya Upanishad, that set of those 18 mantras, the first mantra is Ishavasya, therefore given Isha. This is Katha Upanishad because it appears in Katha Shaka, Katha branch of that Veda, Yajurveda, therefore it is called Katha Upanishad. And since all of them reveal fullness, Purnatvam, they all talk of fullness. So there is no major Upanishad and minor Upanishad. Understand? All are same. Because revelation is same. Somehow this word has become popular, major Upanishads and minor Upanishads. Especially somebody printed translation and became popular. There is no major minor. Because you cannot distinguish between two infinity, major infinity and minor infinity. You cannot say. There is only one infinity. Yes, there are traditionally few Upanishads alone are studied. There are more than 108 Upanishads in different sections of the Vedas. So different set of body of words that reveals this identity. But then these are studied primarily because Bhagavad Pad Shankaracharya ji has written Bhashya on it. And it becomes very easy for us to understand, easy for us to teach, and easy for us to comprehend, both ways. Therefore, these Upanishads are primarily studied. I mean, most of the people study this. And that's how it got a name, major. But as such, there is no major. The right thing should be popular Upanishads. These are popular. There are so many other Upanishads. Like you might not have heard the name also. Muktiko Upanishad. Kalisantarana Upanishad. I am giving this name because you can connect to them. This mantra which ISKCON guys keep chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. It is only half the mantra. The first line, and then also they have played with the mantra. Original mantra is Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. They have reversed it to make Krishna superior. And Krishna is very superior. You are Krishna. Who is superior? You are Rama. Why are you distinguishing between that? But it is all lack of clarity, That appears in Kalisantarana Upanishad. Given name. So many Upanishads are there. But these are primarily studied, and we have been studying this Upanishad before COVID. Every year we had this Kathopanishad that has 6 cantos, chapters, and we have completed 3. That is, first chapter has 3 subsections, and second chapter has 3. So we are just beginning with second chapter, first canto. We will see that in next class. Janma Marana, the cycle. Ignorance, self-ignorance gives rise to sense of being doer, karta, enjoyer. This enjoyer, doer, karta, bhokta is ahankara. Technically, ahankara means sense of doership and sense of enjoyership, centered on I. Kartrutva bhoktrutva meva ahankara. That's an expression of ignorance. This karta finds itself to be what he or she is not, finds limited. Therefore, there is always an endeavor to find limitlessness, to find completeness, to find happiness, to find satisfaction. This endeavor is in terms of karma. Since karma is backed by karta, there is a karma phala accrued to him or her. And this karma phala, to exhaust the result of the action, since they are infinite and so many varied, you require varieties of bodies, varieties of sense organs, and varieties of objects, and varieties of situation, and varieties of places. Certain karma phala can be exhausted only at a certain place. You can't get sukha or dukkha, some special type of sukha dukkha in all the places. There is always, they say, that there is a fun and joy of ice. They keep telling me, when I go to US, they keep advice, come Swamiji in winter. It's worth coming. You should see the winter, all white. I said, my papam has not fructified. I never go out after October. Till February, March. No way to go. Because genetically I am Gujarati, born in Ahmedabad, Baroda. We are used to 40 plus degree. And my body cannot take that winter, So, at Nipa's place, they have to put extra heater in my room. The room heater is working, but that also I find it cold. But they enjoy it. There is some sukham. And vice versa, I keep telling them. Sometimes I give them these chikus, and our mango. Mataji stores some mango juice. Our kesar mango is very sweet. You must have had it. So I tell them, come in summer. Papam. You require different type of body. I remember 10, 12 years ago, one Jewish boy had come in summer for some research work. And he just went whole day in ashram only in shorts. No t-shirt, no baniyan. He said, I can't hold this. He had to come from here to here. In his room there was AC, but he could not take that much to come here. So you require varieties of bodies, varieties of situation, objects. So there is a Janma Marana cycle. Therefore they say freedom from cycle of birth and death. That is a secondary state, way of telling freedom. Fundamental freedom is from what? Ignorance. That is the basic problem, and that is the ultimate purushartha. That is called as moksha purushartha. All these three other purusharthas are nothing but expression of moksha, mokshecha, artha, kama and dharma, in terms of punya, in terms of going to different loka, it's the same. Now, this self-ignorance is unique. In a sense, it is not like I do not know Chinese language. I do not know Japanese language. Most of you may not be knowing. Japanese can be written vertically. I discovered when they enlightened me, and can be written this way also. So which is this and which is that, you don't know. So they have gifted me very nice on a wooden some writing. But I kept here. Then everybody, I took it away now because there were so many questions. Swamiji, of all the things, what is this? I said, I also don't know. And then I had in mind to tell you guys, okay, now you make a translation and put another one. So I can say, this is this. So anyway, here self-ignorance is not simply not knowing the self. Knowing the self otherwise. There is technically avaranam. Self is covered by veil of ignorance. But avaranam alone is not there. There is a viparita gnana. Opposite. Diagonally opposite. I am Purna, I am Apurna. I am Ananda, I am not Dukhi, Mahadukhi. Each one thinks I am the only person who is unhappy. There is nobody else unhappier than me. I am content, is discontent, opposite. So there is a secondary obstacle. Of first, you have to address what I am not. That conclusion, confounded conclusion, has to be removed. Therefore, Shastra says, Neti, Neti, Manobuddhi, Ahankara, Chittani, Naham, Nacha Shrotra Jitve, Nacha Grhananeti. Why no? Because that is so solid. I am that you have to see what I am not. Another thing is, before starting even this, the knowledge will take place in buddhi. Please understand. Every knowledge takes place in buddhi. Some people say, studying Vedanta is intellectual knowledge. You have to meditate and realize. That's a direct experience. So many people keep telling, you should have direct experience. This is intellectual. Every knowledge is intellectual. There is no intestinal knowledge. It's only buddhi. They don't understand this. Shastra is a pramana. Problem is of manana, absence of manana nididhyasana. Meditation is not going to produce knowledge. You have to gain the knowledge at the feet of teacher only through Shastra. Shastra, I'll come to that, is a means of knowledge. But to gain knowledge from a competent teacher who unfolds the Shastra, you need to have proper internal infrastructure, mental infrastructure, cognitive infrastructure, and emotive infrastructure. If I use these words, one needs to be emotionally mature, that is emotive infrastructure, technically called as antahkarana shuddhi, and one needs to be a together person, composite person, having necessary concentration, in the Shastric word called as ekagra buddhi. Shuddha buddhi and ekagra. Shuddha antahkaranam or ekagra antahkaranam. When I say buddhi, it means antahkaranam. When I say manaha, it means antahkaranam. So, one should have a buddhi or mind which is very focused. And one more word, it should be subtle. In Sanskrit called sukshma buddhi. Sukshma ekagra shuddha chittam is necessary. Unless one has that, one cannot understand or appreciate the truth, even if the most competent teacher is teaching. Even if the one who knows the art of unfolding Shastras, Shrotriya Acharya is there, even the fellow may have Shraddha also, but it takes time then. Shraddha will work, but takes a lot of time. This Shuddha Buddhi, Ekagra Buddhi is to be gained. And that is what I said, Shithili Karanam. It loosens the bondage. So in the Upanishad, certain things are talked about to evolve that subtle buddhi, to evolve togetherness in the buddhi, to evolve concentration. That's not a right word in a way, but absence of other proper synonym in English, I would use the concentration. Buddhi which is together. Once it decides, it can follow its own decision. So, you need that. And therefore, this whole section is begun. In the earlier section, there is a mantra. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudhotmana prakashate drashyate tvagraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshma darshibi. Esha, this self, Gudha Atma, it is hidden self. This Gudha Atma na prakashate, it doesn't reveal. To whom? Sarveshu bhuteshu. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu Gudhatmana prakashate. It doesn't reveal. Now the question comes, how do you say it doesn't reveal? There is a self-contradiction. Self or consciousness is a self-revealing self. Na tatra suryo bhati sameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. It is self-revealing, and because of which everything else reveals. You don't need any means of knowledge to know I am. You need eyes to see what is that this picture is. You need what you need? Eyes to see. This is the Swamiji's picture. So this is the Swamiji. You can then to say that Swamiji is holding Param Pujya Swamiji's picture in his hand. To say this you need eyes. Light of the eyes. But not only eyes, but behind the eyes there is a mind also necessary. Some people are in drashta samadhi, thinking something, then they are blank faced because lost somewhere. So you cannot have that. And behind that is consciousness, self-revealing. That consciousness is necessary. Then how do you say it doesn't reveal? Samanyataya prakashate swarupataha na prakashate. All ignorant know I am. Aham asmi. You don't require any support. You don't have to ask, am I there or not? I know I am. No doctor certificate is necessary. When some person has gone into coma, they examine and tell him there is a stroke and the fellow has slipped into coma. But when he comes out of it, she doesn't call a doctor. Doctor, he has opened the eyes and started talking. Is he out of coma? He knows I am out. Swata Siddha. But that I am is known to all of us. But I am Mahadukhi. She has to change to I am Paramasukhi. That is not revealed to all. Na drashyate sarve. That is why it is secret, Gudha. See, there are two types of secrets. One, that thing which is kept away from you. It is called Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam in the 4th chapter. King among the secret. There are so many secrets, unsolved mysteries. People don't know. Like President Kennedy's murder. If you go to Dallas, there is a whole museum there. From this building, from this window, he was shot dead. He was going in this limo. They have kept that as it is. And on the ground floor there are books, 1,000 books, maybe more than 1,000 publications, claiming that this is how he was killed. But still nobody knows what's a fact. And we also don't know many times what's a fact. Politicians know why Russia is attacking, and outside there is different news. Why Rahul Gandhi talking like this? We don't know. That is some other problem. So, but this is a king of secret. You know why? It is right in front of you, still you don't know. Seeing but not seeing. Like those pictures in children magazines. Two pictures, picture A and B are different in 8 ways. Find out. You find out 3, but then 4th is not finding out. You are seeing but not seeing. Similarly here, I am knowing but not unless told by someone. This conclusion about who am I is so strong. Even if someone tells person is not ready to listen, you go out and tell, hey, you are not this, you are something divine. What are you talking? You may be, not me. Nobody is open to this. That conclusion, as I said, Viparita Gnanam, is so strong. Uktopi na manyate. Even if told by someone, he is not ready to listen, not ready to be even give a patient hearing to this thing. So, Gudhatma na prakash. And even if that fellow happens to listen, I'll tell you, I have met 3-4 such persons. I took them to Swamiji's class and 2-3 times they came. And you know what they told me? Compliment. Your Swami is great. He tells good jokes. Didn't understand the Vastu. Didn't have that buddhi to see what he is trying to communicate. The infrastructure was not ready. He is a good storyteller. All these compliments about Puja Swamiji I have received. And sometimes they tell me also, Swamiji, you do good acting. What I tell you, I wanted to do that. I would have gone somewhere else. But that's all they catch. Mandaha. Buddhi is not ready. Therefore, sadhana chatushtaya becomes necessary. Unless you are ready, Shastra will not speak to you. And even if they speak to you, there will be resistance. No, that is not true. I am true. The resistance to what Guru says, resistance to what Shastra says, is born out of impure heart. Nothing else. Unprepared mind. Therefore he says, Gudhotma na prakash. It doesn't will. Therefore Bhagavan says in the 2nd chapter, even Kathopanishad mantra is there, Ashcharyavat pashyati kaschidhenam, Ashcharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyah, Ashcharyavat chainamanya shrunoti. But last line is relevant here. Shrutva penam naveda kaschit. Even if fellow is listening, doesn't. Bhagavad Pad Shankaracharya is very disciplined. very, very disciplined in his usage of words. Will communicate in the most dignified way. If you study Bhashya, you will see the beauty of it. But here, he uses one word in Bhashya. Shrutva penam, having gained the teacher, having gained the opportunity to listen, na veda kasyit, some do not know. There he writes, asamskrita manaha, whose mind is not ready. And then he writes synonym, abhaginaha. Gujarati mein again, abhagya, ill-lucked fellow, ill-fated fellows. It is like that game of snake and ladder, you know. There is a snake at 97 and there is a snake at 93. You reach up to 90, crossing all the snakes, but 93 snakes swallowed you, and then you are out. You got a teacher, you have a Shraddha on a teacher, you got opportunity to study, abhagina. Exactly like our camp, you know. About 24 cancellations took place within last 4 days. Within, the original strength was 44, except these 3 guys. We had 48, I said enough, let's limit to that, so that people can live comfortably, 2 in room and study. What do I say? Abhagina. About 6 of them just 2 days ago told, yes, we are coming by this train. And I asked him, where are they? He said, they are still not here. So, somehow this thing doesn't get a priority. This is subjectivity. People get entangled into so many things, but not this. That life priority is something else. Today there is no dearth of resources to go to ashram and study, that there is a compulsion that they have to work. You guys, Western people have in some pressure. But in India there is a lot of money, people have, but doesn't want. That is abhagina. And having come here study, Swami used to say, wandering lust. Want to go to Somnath, want to see lion, want to see wildlife. You don't need to stand in front of mirror. This wildlife is here. You make faces, you look one of them. In many of I want to go to Dwarika, I want to go to this, that. Subjectivity, restlessness. Therefore, drashyate tvagraya buddhya. Drashyate tu. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu. In all being na prakashati. But tu. But, however, there are some exceptions. Whom agraya buddhya. Whose intellect is sharp. Whose intellect is focused. Whose persona is together. Sukshmaya sukshmadarshivi. One who can see the subtle things. You require subtle perception, very subtle way of looking at it, subtle way of understanding the arguments. Otherwise, people have given me compliments also. Swamiji, you are exactly like Rajanish. I didn't find a rope around, otherwise I would have hanged myself. He is talking something else, I am talking something else, but subtlety is missing. You see, it's really good thing, missing part. Let me share my perception in India and Western world. People here are very loose. More so in cities, B-class cities like Rajkot and sometimes in Ahmedabad. It's okay. Don't want to do it the best way. It's okay, it can be like this. Whereas if you are in Western world, they want certain things in certain way only. When the child grows, it automatically develops subtle perceptions. Habit of seeing the things properly. At least driving subtlety comes. Not like here you go left, right, this, that, park any which way. Sometimes, yes, day before, when I went to Ahmedabad, since the Prime Minister was here, all roads were getting carpeted, So highway also, airport road. Within 3 minutes, 6-lane highway got jammed. Because all are on the wrong side. And not a single. Then I took a detour to village, same story. Another detour, same story. I mean, certain discipline is missing. So subtlety has to grow upon you. Whatever you do, it should be proper and if possible the best. Here Nachiketa tells, Bahunamemi Prathama. There are 3 kinds of Shishyas. Uttama Shishya, Madhyama and Adhama. Best one. Okay one. And third one is Punyatma. This is my word. Uttama one, there are 3 types of sons, 3 types of husbands, 3 types of wives. They are the same thing. Before Guru says to understand what he requires, he or she, and to do it, that's a seva. And to do something more than what is told, what is expected, that's Uttama. Madhyama is when told, he does it, what is told. Neither, sometimes little improvise, otherwise as it is. Third one is, he may do or may not do. That's a Mukta Purusha. Guru may tell, I may do, I may not do. The fellow always lives in or her comfort zone. If I am free, I will do it. If I am not free, I will. You had told me to do, but I had to go for my business, so I went away. They don't bother to inform you also that I am leaving and you ask someone else to do. Adama. See, Hanumanji is an ideal sevaka, best servant, bhakta. He is an uttama bhakta. Whatever he did before even Rama could tell him, and always did much, much more than what he was given to do. He went to search Sita. Rama had sent the parties in all the 4 directions under the leadership of some red monkeys. The team in which Hanumanji was there was sent to south. And they were told, find out where. They had only this much information, that Ravana has kidnapped Sita. But where he has kept and where she is, they didn't know. So you know all of you this Ramayana. What he accomplished? First of all, he created fear in Ravana's army. Butchered so many Rakshasas in Ashok Vatika. Killed Ravana's son also, Akshay Kumar. Ravana had 2 sons. Younger son was killed there. Sita was to be found out, but he met with the president of the country. Created a situation where Ravana had to call for him. Had a dialogue. And created a restlessness in Ravana by describing who is Rama. And he did it so strategically. He says, I am a very insignificant officer in the army. Majors and generals are there. So if I can do this, think of what these guys will do. Ravana's kidnapping Sita was looked upon by citizens of Lanka as his private affair. Nobody knew also that he has kidnapped. The news was confined to palace. He brought a lady. How will the public know? And nobody cared. But he burned the whole Lanka. So it became a public issue. Whole public opinion went against him. Subjects of Lanka said, why should Ravana do this? Should give her back. That also Hanumanji accomplished. Not only met Sitaji but gave solace to her. And she had her own, first time she got news that my husband is coming. She was also in a blind, didn't know where my husband is. She got some news that now I'll be relieved. And she was so dejected and depressed, almost wanted to commit suicide. She gave him a hope. First he gave him a hope. Then did this parakram, burned the Lanka. So she became confident, now it will happen. You may have hope, but you see only Ravana, his strength and army and all that. So she, not only he gave solace, but gave confidence and showed her his Vishwarup darshan. He created a rift in Ravana's ministry. Vibhishana and 4 ministers defected. Broke the party. Congress to BJP. Rashtravari party. So, all those Vibhishana then decided to get out. Another 4 ministers left Ravana. So, ministerial division, public division and fear, restlessness to Ravana, stress to Ravana, okay, now what will happen? And then damage to the property of the Lanka, which they never knew. It is like 9/11 in US. America never knew. You know one thing? America is always in war for last 50 years, but on others' land. First time they attacked America in America. You should have seen that cycle and the utterance of American people. They had begun, we are so used to terror attack. Terrorism, Muslim. Yesterday only I went into that so-called terror Pirana. We had Shobha Yatra and they were all looking. There were every chances of stone pelting to us. But of course police was there, but they did it in a couple of places. We are used to, but they don't know. Similarly, Lanka people didn't know somebody can come to us and attack us. Public opinion. Destroyed his property, private garden of Ravana. And his NSG commandos, National Guard. Lankini, he was beaten. So this is a Uttama Shishya, does more than expected. That work culture reflects your level of looking at a thing. You see, in ashrams there is a, you go to other, it's okay, chalta hai. People tell, Swamiji, yours is a 5-star ashram. I say, what is 5-star? You provide certain infrastructure and keep it clean. But that thinking, that attitude to gloss over, attitude to not be sensitive to others' requirement, that is what missing. When that is missing, Atma Gnanam is very far. Drashyate Tugraya Buddhya Sukshma Darshi. Sukshma. That he said, Des Tadatma Na Prakashate. It is gain. Vignate. There is a beautiful sentence in Bhashyakara says, Vignate hi Shreyaf Pratabandha Karane Tad Apananaya Yatnaha Arabdham Shakyate Nanyatha. When you know what are the obstacles for moksha gnana, then only you will pursue yourself to remove the obstacle. When you don't know obstacles, How are you going to work for removal? Like some people are not aware about hygiene. They are very and blissfully ignorant. I see especially air travelers. Not in India but in the West, they will sleep on the floor. And they will eat sitting there. And the worst thing, that thing with having maximum bacteria is airline property, your handle and your plate tray and all that. You must wash the hand. And the worst place where you have maximum bacteria is your computer. Because you always do things, never wash the finger, never clean. But people don't know. So while working, I'm sitting, not 3 days ago, when I went, I came at Bombay. I came at late night flight and there was a fellow sitting and he was playing tabla. And air hostess gave the food, he started eating. I said, better sanitize it, this is all. He doesn't know. So there is a question of killing. So only one should know what are the pratibandhaka, obstacles. When you know, then only you will put in the effort to remove. So to keep us aware, to inform us about pratibandhaka, and then we work for removal, this section has begun. New canto, new chapter. Okay, and let's see the first mantra. Paranchikhani vyatrunat swayambhuhu tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kashiddhirah pratyagatmanamaikshat आवृत्त चक्षुरमृतत्वमिच्छन् परांशिखानि व्यतृणत् स्वयंभूः तस्मात् परां पश्यति नान्तरात्मन् कश्चिद्धीरः प्रत्यगात्मानमैक्षत् आवृत्त चक्षुरमृतत्वमिच्छन् परांशिखानि व्यतृणत् स्वयंभूः तस्मात् परां पश्यति नान्तरात्मन् कश्चिद्धीरः प्रत्यगात्मानमैक्षत् आवृत्त चक्षुरमृतत्वमिच्छन् Together, Paranchikhani vyatrunat swayambhuः tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman kashiddhirah pratyagatmanamaikshat आवृत्त चक्षुरमृतत्वमिच्छन् Paranchi khani. Khani means indriyani. Paranchi means extrovert, outwards, outlooking. The sense organs are extrovert. Tasmat vyatranat swayambhuhu. Vyatranat means destroyed. Who? Swayambhuhu, that by the Lord. Swayambhuhu paranchikhani krutva sarvan janan vyatranat. The Lord has destroyed jivas or people by creating the sense organs extrovert. Okay? By making the senses looking out. That is one sentence. Tasmat, therefore, parang pashyati. Pashyati sees, perceives, experiences, or knows what? Parang, that which is outside. Therefore, people in general pursue objects outside. Na antaratman. Do not see the self. Do not pursue the self. Do not want to know the self. The self which is inner. However, kashit dhiraha. Here dhiraha word is in a sense of discriminative. Somehow Yamaraja likes this dhira word. Dhirubhai માટે બહુ પ્રેમ છે. He keeps on using this dhira word. Often in Gujarati there is a very popular name. Many people have named Dhiru. So we call them Dhirubhai. One is to come tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow is coming. 28th, day after our regular. But in a different context. Here dhiraha means discriminative, vivekina. In other words, viraktaha, shukshma buddhivantaha, those who have dispassion, those who are objective in their life, those who have settled intellect, they. However, some discriminative one, pratyagatmanam aikshat. Pratyagatma, the self. You can use this word, but there is a room for misconception, so I am not using. Desiring self. But which self? Pratyak, innermost self. Or you can say real self. This is why I am saying this. Because there are really not two selves. When there is second, then you have to use adjective. Inner self. Any adjective, see, adjective is defined as that which qualifies substantive. Correct? When I say blue lotus, that means I am qualifying lotus by blue color. But adjective not only qualifies a given substantive or noun, it negates others also. When I say blue lotus, it means it is not yellow, not orange, not white. Correct? Not is always there inbuilt. So when you go to a pond and you ask to bring blue lotus, you see so many lotuses. But it's negated. No. Swamiji has asked for only blue one. There are different colors. So it negates something else also. But there is no other Atma. Where is negation? To say Antaratma, inner self, that means there is outside self. But earlier he said, Antar Bahishya Tat Sarvam. Vyapena, it is everywhere. So this adjective is figurative. Only with reference to or contextual, that external here, when you say inner self, it means outer, means perceived, objectified. That which is objectifiable, what body-mind complex is Bahi. That is considered to be self. Outside means what? Objectifiable. Objectifiable means what? Anatma. Anatma is taken as Atma. And in reference to that ignorance caused position, you say inner self. Correct? Antaratma. But there is no inner. like Panchakosha, one kosha inside another one. They are not Russian dolls, each one inside. You know that Russian dolls they have, it is not kosha. In that case, Atma will become what? Small battery inside. How can it be Sarva-Vyapi? Kosha eva kosha. As though they are not really covering. So anyway, so inner is as though, or with reference to Dehatma Bhava, with reference to Dehatma Buddhi, outer. Pratyagatmanam Aikshat. He desiring, wishing, what? To see the self, the real self. What happens? Desiring amrutatvam ichhan, desiring fullness, desiring complete self, desiring ananda. Kaschid dhira, rare discriminative one. Means a discriminative one who is endowed with mokshecha, tivra mokshecha. What happens? Avrata chakshuhu. He becomes introvert. Avrit pratyagatmanam aikshata. He sees the self. This self which is innermost is not seen by all because of ignorance. No, but however, a rare discriminative one, Viveki, with mokshecha. In between you have to add, when he pursues the self, goes to a teacher and learns Upanishads and etc., he discovers the self, that is Purna. Okay? So, Anvaya, the prose order would be in Sanskrit, Paranchikhani Vyatrunat Swayambhuhu. Or put the subject first. Swayambhuhu, Ishvara, has destroyed people. How? By creating Paranchikhani, by giving sense organs as extrovert. Full stop. Tasmat, therefore, Parang Pashyati, they see only external world. Na antaratman, never to inner self. However, everybody is like that, but there are some exceptions. Kaschid dhiraha, rare discriminative one, rare matured one, virakta one, dispassionate one, amrutatvam icchan, kaschid dhiraha, amrutatvam icchan, avrutta chakshuhu bhavati. He becomes introvert and then studies Shastra from a guru, and then what he says? Pratyagatmanam aikshat. He sees the self, innermost self, or the real self is seen by these people who become introvert. Okay? Swayambhuhu, Swayam bhavati. Swayambhuhu means he becomes by himself. In other words, uncaused. The one that doesn't have cause. The ultimate cause, as though you can say, the cause of all causes. Pita hamasya jagatah, mata dhata ityadi. Bhagavan says, I am the cause. Nobody causes me. I cause everybody else. That's again 4th chapter Avatara Rahasya, he says, Ajopi sannavyatma. When you are caused by somebody or something, that means that caused vastu comes into existence at a given time, T1. It is a cause. So cause brings the effect into existence. It is at time T1. If Bhagavan had a cause, that means he is born at time T1 only. Then he is no more Ishvara, Bhagavan, because somebody who caused him becomes Ishvara. Understand? So this is uncaused. Uncaused means birthless. Birthless means timeless. I have no time. Time kalasya kala hamasmi. Paranji khani vyatrudatsaya. Even human being is destroyed because naturally looks for out. Naturally pursues the external world. Naturally thinks that I'll get fullness by changing, restructuring the world outside. Never ever thinks that I can be the one. Like $1 billion question, who am I? It doesn't occur to him. That's why it is said, he has been destroyed by creating these sense organs as extrovert. Because he sees or pursues only extrovert objects. Dekho Maya. See, it's so vivid. Across the globe, in all generations, whatever I have seen, born in 81, 82, 83, onwards even today, every child looks for happiness outside itself. And universally some toys. Bhagavan ki kya maya hai? Whether it's a Japanese baby or South African baby or European or American or Indian, they all love chocolate. They all love toys. They think it is happiness is in the toys. That is called destruction. Bhagavan has destroyed. They think happiness is there. Kashiddhiraha, some rare one. We'll see that in the evening. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Khani Vyatrunat Swayambhuhu Tasmat Parang Pashyati Nantaratman Kashiddhirah Pratyagatmanamaikshat ऐक्षत कश्चिद्दीरः प्रत्यगात्मानमैक्षत आवृत्तचक्षुरमृतत्वमिच्छन् together पराञ्चिखानि व्यदृणत्स्वयम्भुः तस्मात् परां पश्यति नान्तरात्मन् कश्चिद्दीरः प्रत्यगात्मानमैक्षत चक्षुरमृतत्वमिच्छन्. To know a given object, we need to employ the means of knowledge. Like to see the form and the color, you need eyes. To see, to hear or know the sound, you need to operate ears. That means of knowledge should be proper and adequate. I may use eyes to see the form, but if I have numbers, it is inadequate means of knowledge to see. The available 5 means of knowledge, what we call as perception, etc. What we call as perception. Eyes, ear, nose, skin and tongue. They can give you knowledge of something which is other than you. Therefore, they are called as karanani, means of knowledge. Antahkaranam, bahikaranam. External, internal. These are called bahikaranani. So they can know something other than I. You can never see, never hear, nor smell I through eyes, ears, etc. 2 reasons. It is a self because of which you operate them. Can you come this side? It is a self because of which they gain the necessary capacity to reveal a given object. Eyes are there as called as eyes to reveal the form and color, provided they are backed by consciousness. Without consciousness, they cannot. That means it is the ultimate subject, what is mentioned in Kathopanishad, Shrotrasya Shrotram Manaso Manoyat Vachoho Vacham Saupranasya Prana Chakshusas Chakshu Ityadi. Secondly, the self to be known is free from any attributes. Eyes can reveal only the form, color. The consciousness is without any form and without any color. Ears can reveal only the sound. Consciousness is free from any sound. As they call it, nirgunam. No attributes. Since it is devoid of all kinds of attributes, the senses of perception can never reveal it. Then what can reveal? The another means of knowledge is inference. Inference is a knowledge, is a complete knowledge based on certain factual data. As they call it, when what you see and what you conclude has invariable relationship, invariable concomitance, avina bhava sambandha. Traditional example is, you see a smoke in the mountain. then you conclude that there is a fire. That there is a fire is not presumption, but it is irrefutable knowledge. Why? Because whenever there is a smoke, there has to be fire. Yatra yatra dhumaha, tatra tatra vannihi. Whenever there is smoke, there is fire. Vice versa, not true. Whenever there is fire, there is smoke is not true. Your kitchen gas, the fire is there, but there is no smoke. This is modern discovery. You cannot have smoke in all kinds of fires. So, you can say there is a fire in the mountain, having seen the snow. But that knowledge, inferential knowledge, also depends upon perception. You should see the smoke. Then there are few other means of knowledge, traditionally accepted 6 means of knowledge, arthapatti, ityadi. But all of them are based on what? Perception. So, Moola Pramanam, the fundamental means of knowledge is perception. Now, that you cannot know through perception certainly cannot be known through any other means of knowledge. Arthapatti, upapattihi, anupapattihi and shabda. Through words also you know. But here, in a typical situation where what you want to know is yourself, is available to you, then only means of knowledge is words. Words becomes means of knowledge to reveal the self which is being experienced, quote unquote, which is known, quote unquote, but still not known. As I said in the morning, known as is, but not known as what it is. Samanyataya gnata. You know there is something self. But swarupataya na gnata. You don't know what is its nature. Aham asmi janam. Kintu koham asmi, who am I? Viparita janam. Aham dukhi iti janam. I know I am, but I know I am as a dukhi I, limited I, dissatisfied I, etc. There is a traditional example we give, that is Tvam Dashmosi, that good old story. 10 boys from the village went for picnic in the forest. The eldest among them was given responsibility to take care of the rest of the 9 and bring them back. They were all young guys, teenage or even younger than teenage, 2 or 3 of them. They went, in between they had to cross a river. Village boys swam and crossed it, went there in the forest and played whole day, and the evening were to return. Then this fellow remembered, I have to take care of rest. Are they all there? He counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they concluded the 10th is lost. Dashamo nashtaha. Then went on searching outside where they had played, trees, etc. He was in pain, comes across some Mahatma, the story says. And that wise man asked them, hey boys, what's the problem? You all seem to be sad, little pained. What's the problem? Then this fellow said, Dashamo Nashtaha. 10th one is lost amongst us. Hearing that, this is relevant to me, this portion of the story. Hearing that Mahatma asked, in those days, people in India were known by Guru, not by parents. Today we write our father's name, first name and father's name. He says, Kasya Shishyaha, you, whose disciples you are? Then they had said, Paramananda Guroho Shishya. But not Paramatmananda. Paramananda. My Shishyas are very intelligent. Paramananda Shishyaha. Then that Guru asked the leader to line up the rest, and he said, count. He counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whom are you searching? 10th one. Then it was said, Tvam Dashmos. You are the 10th. That is Tat Tvamasi. You are that. Means what? What you are searching is you. What you are looking for is you. That is a way the teacher unfolds through words. In other words, teacher has to build a context. Make them stand there. Make him count 9 and then tell. Had he told, you are the 10th, how can I be 10th? Immediately there would have been a resistance. Now, my point is this. Not only teacher has to build context, this fellow should be ready to understand. Any means of knowledge, please remember this, any means of knowledge reveals the object to be known immediately. Moment you operate, at the very moment you know, Gnanam is always immediate. There is no vyavadhana, intermediary time lapse or anything required. When I open the eyes, I see this is the color, full stop. I see the trees. Ears are open, you hear the words. Any means of knowledge. You touch this, you know it. That's how the blind people can conduct themselves. There's immediately no. Knowledge is always immediate. This fact should be understood by so-called Vedanta teachers. When they don't see that immediacy, then they say, oh, it is indirect knowledge and you have to meditate. It is like you go to ophthalmologist, getting your eyes checked. And they invariably ask you to read the line. First and second line you can read. And invariably they put letters as though it is a Russian name, Zakoslavia name, P, Q, W, something like that. So you are confused, it is P or Q. And suppose that ophthalmologist tells you, now meditate, you will realize. If you say eyes are the means of knowledge, nothing else can give you knowledge except eyes. The problem is, as I said, they don't understand. Immediately you should be able to see it. What does it mean? Your numbers are not proper. Then he takes those out, removable glasses, and puts the new one. And you say, it is P. It is P or it is Q. How come? Immediate. Understand? So when you don't understand the self, even when taught by the teacher, that doesn't mean you have to do something else to, or meditate, or do seva, or do yatra or something. Only way out is keep listening. Problem is not with the means of knowledge. Problem is with you where the knowledge is to take place. Therefore, emotional maturity and cognitive maturity is necessary. Very much necessary. In absence of that necessary preparedness, you can't see the truth. Otherwise, even while teaching only, Shravana Samaye Eva, things should be seen. It should be understood. And sometimes it does happen. I understood today. But you can't hold it. Moment the class is over, again things are lost. That is because some mananam and nididhyasanam is necessary. Therefore, Shravanam is a primary means, but then more often than not, this is also necessary, called manana and nididhyasana. In mananam and nididhyasanam, no new knowledge takes place. Whatever you know becomes free from doubts and errors. Habitual errors of taking myself to be physio-psycho-complex, that gets addressed by nididhyasana. That's why sukshmaya sukshma drashtivi. The mind is not that subtle enough. It may pose doubt, or somebody's doubt, it may create a doubt. Therefore, manan and nididhyasana becomes necessary, but no new knowledge takes place in Shravanam, in Mananam or Nididhyasana. Therefore, there is a Vakya. Mandukyam eva alam mumukshunam moksha siddhai. Mandukya Upanishad is enough to gain moksha. But if it doesn't work with you, ekadasham patha, then the Ishakena Katha Prashna Mandaka Mandu Gayatri Tetri Chandaka Pradharanakam Sveta Chetramiti. If 11 doesn't work for you, 32. If 32 doesn't work, 108. If that also doesn't work, repeat. No way out. In the Gita, if you look at it, the teaching is over in the very second chapter. But he couldn't see the things through. There were doubts. There were misconceptions. So there is repetition. Even in the second chapter itself, Shankaracharya writes in the Bhashya, Kinchit Shabdataha Punaruktam, Kinchit Arthataha api Punaruktam. The same words are repeated and something is repeated in terms of meaning. Why? Durvigneyatvacha vastunaha. The thing to be known is so subtle. It calls for that preparedness. And if it is not there, repetition is not dosha for the teacher. He has to repeat. It is not something that is improper. It has to be done. Like I'll tell you these 2-3 famous verses, every Indian generally know. Na jayate mriyate va. Correct? Just there is the first line. Okay? What is the third and fourth? Na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya. Then third line. Ajo. Na jayate najo. You see? न मृयते नित्य जो नित्य शाश्वतो यम पुराण न हन्यते. Same thing. In other words, नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न shoshayati marutah achedyoyamadahyyoyam. What is achedya? Nainam sindanti shastrani vandana Nainam dahati pavaka adahyo. There is a repetition. And that goes on. The Brahma Vidya, or the most important message of Gita, that you are not a karta bhokta. As I said in the morning, kartrutva bhoktrutvam alone is ahankar, doership, enjoyership. You are not. Look at every chapter. Second chapter, this verse, hanta chen manyate hantum, hataschen manyate hatam, ubhautau na vijaya. So the one who thinks I am killing doesn't know. That means you are not a killer. In the second chapter. Third chapter, prakrute kriyamanani guneh karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti tattva-vittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoho gunaguneshu vartante iti matva. Fifth chapter, third, fourth chapter. Karmanya karma yav pashet akarmani cha karma. Fifth chapter. Navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvan nakar. Pasyan sunvan susan naiva kinchit karomiti. All chapters. There is a repetition to make the knowledge clear, to remove those habitual error in terms of Dhyatma Buddhi, taking myself to be physio-psycho-complex. Nididhyasana becomes necessary. But as I said, knowledge is always immediate. Shravana samaya eva, it becomes clear. If not, that is preparedness. And to gain that necessary preparedness, that is called obstacles. Pratibandhakani, to inform us what are the obstacles and how to handle those obstacles. This chapter has begun and this verse is there. Paranchi khani vyatrunat swayambhu. Paranchi means, it's a plural because indriya, it's an adjective. The khani means indriyani. Okay? Khani kham means akasha. Akasha lakshita. But it is implied by khani means indriyani. Paranchi. Paranchi means parak anchati gacchati. They go outside. They move outside. Also, please note here, whenever in Shastra someone says introvert and extrovert, inner and external, there is no physical inner. Okay? Not physical like this. I am inside the room. The shoes are outside the room. There is a real wall over there. Inner and outer either is in a sense of grossness and subtleness or pervasiveness, but not really inner out. What is inside is outside. What is outside is inside. So, going outside, meaning thereby moving for something which is other than me. Their area of knowledge is what? Something other than. All sense organ can give you knowledge of something which is available for objectification. They can give you knowledge of something which is not you. That's it. It cannot give you knowledge about yourself because you are the very subject of the sense organs. Okay. Who created like this? Paranchikhani. Then it says, Swayambhuhu. Swayam Bhavati. Who comes into being by himself. That means what? He is uncaused. He is not caused, he or she, whatever it is not brought into being through parents, some cause. That is uncaused. That means that is the cause of everything. It is uncaused in sense Bhagavan is not caused by law of karma like what we are. All jivas are caused to be born in a given yoni because of their own karmas. And through they need secondary means as parents to be born. He doesn't need. And that which is unborn either can be totally non-existent or can be existence per se. Either it can be satyam or tucham. Avandhya putraha, son of a barren woman, is never born. It is not there at all. Where is the question of being born? It's like saying selfless politician. It is uncaused. Nowadays it is uncaused, To say intelligent Trump, it is something self-contradictory. Like saying intelligent Rahul Gandhi in India. It is uncaused. It is there. So Nityaha. This is Nityaha. Swatantraha. Sarvam Swayam Tantre. Everything in its Vasham. That is what Bhagavan says in the 4th chapter. Ajop, 2 verses are there. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charge. So many births, yours and mine, have taken place. Tani aham veda sarvani. I know all. Natvam, you don't know. Okay, what's a big difference? It's okay, you know something more than me. Next line. Ajopi sannavyatma bhutanam ishvaropi prakrutim swamadhisthaya sambhavami atmamaya. I am unborn, ajahapi, avyatma, imperishable, and bhutanam ishvara. I am the ruler of everything. But with this Maya Shakti, I take as though birth, as though being ruled and controlled even by my mother. Natural forces. This is uncaused. That Swayambhu means Ishvara. In one word, what? Ishvara has created sense organs as what? Extrovert. And then there is word Paranchikhani Vetrunat Swayambhuhu. Swayambhuhu Vetrunat. He has destroyed or killed all the beings. Why? Paranchikhani Vetrunat Swayambhuhu Tasmat Parang Pashyati Nantaratman. The movement of sense organs are always towards something other than me. That means all the jivas stand devoid of possibility of looking at oneself. Parang Pashyati. As I said, this Maya, every child, look at this Maya. Every child across the globe, maybe Japanese or Indian or Australian or American or African or South American, whatever. No mother tells. No father or mother tells baby, you want to be happy? Play with the toys. No one tells. Does anyone tell? No. You want to be happy? Eat chocolate. This is Maya. Every child goes after toys, goes after some objects, whatever is samskara, vasanas are there, and then they go after it. So right from childhood, fullness or happiness is sought in the world outside me. And when you look for happiness somewhere outside me, that means there is a conclusion that I don't have it. Obviously. Otherwise, why should you search for it? Suppose this fellow searching in one room something. That means what? He or she has concluded that I have not lost in the other room. Which may be the case, but there is a conclusion, it is here only, not there. So, the search for fullness, search for happiness, right from the birth is in the world outside. Restructuring my possessions, restructuring my relationships, restructuring my situation, I think I will be happy. That means whole life is becoming life, trying to become something. That itself is destruction. Bhagavan has destroyed because individual after some time or after some growth is always busy in thinking of Vishayas for fullness. Mind gets so preoccupied. Bhagavan has created. There is a fire, but somebody has poured oil also. What is that oil? Modern marketing. They show you all objects in such a way. You know what is the bottom line of all advertisements? To create or to bring out bhokta out of you, to make you feel that you will be happy if you have this. You will be content if you have this. You will be full if you have this. And otherwise you are not. They create this sense. That is what Ishvara has as though destroyed. Not killed physically. It is like saying the student is in the 12th grade and the parents give him iPhone 15 Pro with 5G Wi-Fi and new iPad and no control. He will be watching that only, not studying. So that sense is being outside extrovert, darshana, smarana, ityadi, anubhava. Mind is preoccupied only in that. There is no space for the self-inquiry even. Forget about self-knowledge. That is ashuddhi. Antakarana shuddhi means to create space. Emotional maturity or cognitive maturity is to create space inside. Mind is so busy, so much engaged. If you see these typical youngsters, I have this and I will have that and I should have this. They are all the time thinking and busy only those things. That is why it is called destroyed. There is a beautiful verse in Vivek Chudamani. He says these 5 animals, Kuranga, Matanga, Patanga, Meena, Brunga Meena, Pancha Panchattva Mahapu. These animals gained Panchattvam and they died. They lose their life only because of one sense organ. They say this deer is very fast in running. When they want to catch deer, they play music. Beautiful music. His sense, Shravanendriya, is very powerful. And he likes. This bee, tongue is powerful. The fragrance, smell is powerful. So it gets into lotus for honey. And because of the fragrance cannot come out, at the evening time lotus gets closed and the bee which can pierce the wood dies inside because of smell. The fish, the tongue is most powerful. He just sees a bait. On the bait there is a piece of meat and goes to eat. The bait is like that. Eats and then it gets caught. Elephant is Sparshendriya is powerful. They want to catch elephant, they create a wooden elephant, colored one. And besides, there is a conical, like this conical pit, covered with light woods, etc. And elephant falls with the legs like this. It doesn't know how to come out. They catch the elephant. Elephant loses life, loses freedom. For what? Sense of touch. He says all these 5 animals lose their life by Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. What to talk of human being who has all the 5 prominent. And therefore he is busy all the time. Even though Bhagavan has given us buddhi, which they don't have. But then that is called distraction. The means to, special power to gain freedom, to gain moksha is given to us. Potential means. But never it is utilized. Naraha panchatvam ki panchehi panchah kim. Manushya is all the 5 powerful and therefore what to talk of it? Therefore it says, tasmat, 2 things. Having made the sense organ external, Bhagavan has finished this human being. And secondly, tasmat parang pashyati. Therefore he always sees outside. In one word, happiness is sought in other than me. You seek happiness, you seek fullness. Where? In something which is not. Tasmat parang pashyati na antar atman. They don't see that. That means there is no possibility of freedom, no moksha. If it is no moksha, then why Upanishad? If it is no moksha, then why Shastra? That is not possible at all. Like Buddha, sarvam dukkham. If it is everything is dukkham, why samsara? He says, Kashiddhira pratyagat manamaikshat. Kashiddhiraha. Dhiraha means viraktaha. Dhira means a person who has space here. The person who is grown up cognitively and emotionally. A person who has a vairagya, who understands that there is no connection between the two, what I want and what I am doing. I have been doing, pursuing to be happy, and nothing can make me happy. That clarity one who has is called dhiraha, kashid dhiraha. This becomes what? Avrutta chakshu. Means he becomes introvert. He doesn't work to restructure the world. He is busy in restructuring himself or herself. Restructuring my values, restructuring my attitudes, restructuring my ideal self, restructuring my goal, etc. That is called Avritta Chakshu. In our Shastric language, one who is living a life of dharma, dharmatma, is Avritta Chakshu. And later on, committed, then he becomes mumukshu. Even dharmatma also can be called as Avritta Chakshu. Here word dharma doesn't mean religion, which people translate. Dharma means person who is committed to life of duty, kartavyata. Whatever the duty or whatever contributory actions, whatever enjoined actions by Shastras to be done, and Vyavarika, he or she is committed to do. The first step of becoming introvert is I commit myself to life of dharma. People compromise their duties. People cut corners because of the pressure of what? Artha and kama. If there is a tremendous need for artha kama, person will compromise duty. Person will compromise values. He or she will pursue artha kama through improper means also. Ends are also improper, and sometimes the means are also improper. Why? Because he or she has a pressure of achieving artha and kama. Living a life of dharma is a process of becoming introvert. Little additional note here. Our Hindu way of life and Hindu view of life is to live a life of dharma. Marriage is to become introvert, not to become extrovert. Because the husband and wife are called what? Sahadharmachari, Sahadharmacharini. Committed to life of dharma. Married, the people say, only grihasthas have freedom. It is true in a way, but then life of grihastha is a life of dharma. And that person, when he or she lives a life of dharma, that becomes ready. He becomes, naturally withdrawn from pursuit of arthakama. In other words, one look at the other way around. Who has a pressure for arthakama, always pursuing for arthakama, has what's the problem? He or she has self-dissatisfaction, self-discontentment. The life of dharma leads to relative self-contentment, relative self-satisfaction. These guys who are after money and power and position, they are so dissatisfied. The same person, for whatever reason, takes a pause and thinks of doing something else. That means some relative contentment is there. Relative satisfaction is there. So, our introvert person doesn't mean only meditating for so many hours and that's introvert. Doesn't mean he gives up pleasures or involvement into the world. Introvert means one who is self-satisfied, self-content, relative, not totally. It's okay. I'm happy in being what I am. I want more, but I also like this. It is happy for what it is. Then whatever am I or whatever I have, if there is a tremendous discontentment, fellow cannot sit quiet. That will be external, always finding new avenues, different means to earn money and to gain new sense objects, to be happy. That's what, to feel satisfied, to feel content. So, avrutta chakshuhu is a one who is relatively self-satisfied, relatively self-content, who has not the one who has withdrawn himself out of will. No, I will not do this. Like even when you start doing fasting, Thursday or Monday or whatever, in the beginning you are becoming avrutta chakshu, planning for what to eat, where to eat. And you say, no, it's out of will. But if you do fasting for a year or so, after 1 year you're happy. No, I don't want this, I'm not hungry. If somebody force you, ये तो फराली है, these are certain exceptions. Even then the fellow says, no, I don't want it. Gujaratis have unique, we are very innovative. There are dosas available, and recently the Swami Narayans told me pizzas available. Ekadashi pizzas, special. If you want the pizza taste, why you do fasting? And then, innovative, special bhajiyas, pakodas are also available, Ekadashi pakoda, Ekadashi samosa, Ekadashi, all these are available. That's not introvertedness, satisfied. Avrutta chakshuhu, then what happens? Amrutatvam icchanna. Amrutatvam icchanna, desirous of amrutatva. Amrutatva means two meanings. Amruta means nectar. And amruta means not to, na amruta iti, not to die. When the fellow is committed to discover the self which is free from birth and death. Na jayate, na mriyate. Icchan. Tad atmanam icchan. Is desire of that. Or amruta, nectar means happiness. The one who is committed to happiness, that is the self. Committed to discover oneself. Amrutatvam icchan. He or she is desirous. That not only becomes introvert, but introvertedness is for gaining Atma. Swami would very nicely say, the fellow was very restless, very go-getter, as they call it. Go-getter, go for kill. He was very busy. Now discovered that enough, no more go-getter. So what are you doing? I'm just sitting. So Swamiji would say, fellow was formerly agitated idiot. Now quiet idiot, but idiot all the way. Agitated idiot and quiet idiot. To just be quiet is not the goal. You can still continue to be ignorant. Idiot means ignorant. Swamiji's translation. You can continue to be ignorant about yourself. There is positive desire to pursue the self. not simply vegetative life. No, there is not the life which you are not doing anything and just quietly sitting. But even if you sit quiet, self-ignorance doesn't go. One has to work for it. One has to go to a teacher. We'll see in this, it will come in the later part. And one has to study Shastra and discover oneself. Amrutattvam icchan. What happens then? Pratyagatmanam aikshat. He or she sees the self. He or she knows the self. He or she discovers the self that is his or her nature. When it starts, when you become introvert. Introvert means less talking and less walking and not that is introvert. That is relatively inner freedom. Inner freedom in terms of no inner pressure to achieve something, to gain something, to do away with something. Pravrutti and nivrutti both. I have to get away. That kind of pressure is not there. You enjoy relative self-satisfaction. We'll see the next mantra tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Convert everybody, I'll come again to save you. That is saving from original sin. Fact that you are born to a given parents, you are sinner, born sinner. That is what their thinking is. Therefore, they are converting. They are indoctrinated, those people. They keep converting people. By fair or foul means. They use certain deceit, and there are some evidences in India. The Muslims think in the same way that volume problem. Problem with this. It's not placed properly. You do tomorrow something. Yeah. They also think that only faithful to our religion will go to heaven. That is moksha, liberation. And they also believe there is some mandate that Quran is called Asmani Kitab. Asmani means a book that has come from heaven. And that book has mandated that non-faithfuls are kafir, called kafir. There are some surahs. And it seems those faithful have a license to kill kafir. Okay? It's some punya karma. Secondly, both these religions, Christianity and Islam, they have their individual God. But one thing common about them is their God is in heaven. That is Jannat, what they call it. And he is formless. That is common. Now, formless thing cannot have a location. Cannot have a location for any formless. You cannot say air is here. It is everywhere. So their God is in heaven. And we have to go to heaven and present ourselves to God and prove that I have changed my faith and now I am your faithful servant. Since God is formless, you cannot worship Him in a form. So those who worship Him in a form are also called, branded as kafir. It is forbidden. In other words, murti puja, idol worship, brands you as kafir if you do. And there again, there is a mandate that you should break, or whatever interpretation. I don't know, I'm not too sure about it. So, whenever they ruled, they broke down the places of worship, symbols of worship. When they worship in masjid, there is nothing. It is only a wall, they face. And the wall is towards Makkah. You have to face Makkah. That's what their thinking is. Now, human mind cannot relate, cannot express without a form. Emotions needs form to express. And it's, even a language is a form. Tone is a form. Body language is also a form, how I can communicate. There should not be anything wrong in expressing love through some form. Even praying Allahu Akbar is a form. Language is a form. That you need minarets is a form. That direction is also a form. Why should you face the direction which is towards Makkah? You have to, whole Vyavahara is in name and form. Nama Rupatmakam Jagat. You have to have. More so when it's emotional relationship. So they destroyed the places of worship, like in Jerusalem. The famous synagogue of Jews is still destroyed. There is a mosque there, in that place. There is one wall left, which they call it a wailing wall. They ruled over our country for 4 centuries and destroyed many temples. One of them was Rama temple, Ayodhya. Now, Hindu culture, Hindu religion cannot be there without Rama and Krishna. That is again because of Vedic vision of life and Vedic view of life. Our vision of life is that Purushartha, Chaturvida Purushartha, of them, main Purushartha is Dharma. We don't say Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. Though it is that sequence only we live. First is Artha. Artha means security. From every baby seeks security. Even a youngster seeks security in terms of money, Then they will spend the money to enjoy whatever they want to enjoy. Seek security. But dharma. So, and dharma, as I said today morning, itself is not purushartha, it is for moksha. But vyavahara requires dharma. So much so it is said, sharira madhyam khalu dharma sadhanam. This body is a sadhanam for dharma, meant for dharma. Marriage is also for dharma. The way of life, Hindu way of life is ashrama. Brahmacharya ashrama, grahastha ashrama, vanaprastha and sannyas. So brahmacharya is also for dharma. The child is taught dharma only, what you should do and what you should not do. Grahastha is also dharmartha. Therefore, even today we use a word in all vernacular languages. All Indian languages say dharma patni. Nobody says professional patni. Though they may be same in the same profession. It is dharma. So, whole country, not now, those days, was committed to dharma, therefore it is called dharma kshetre kurukshetra. In dharma kshetra, nation, it was called Arya Vrata. Arya is a one who is committed to dharma. He is not a caste. He is not a jati coming from north. So dharma was part of our DNA, I would say that. And the ideal for us was Rama. As it is mentioned, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. If dharma, which is formless, takes form, it will be in the form of Rama. Like even if truth takes birth, it will be in the form of Harishchandra or Mahatma Gandhi, always held on to truth. So Rama was Adarsha Purusha, whole country. Was an ideal, role model. Ramayana was the text which was common to whole India. They read, that's what our culture was. Every evening after food, read Ramayana and Mahabharata. That was it. You will find in India, every village has a Rama temple. Especially in Gujarat, Choro, the center point, there will be Ramji Mandir, and outside the village there will be Shiv Mandir. It's a typical, in Karnataka also. Same story. Hanuman, etc. In Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, everywhere, every village has a Rama Mandir. Now, to break the morale, to break the culture and our heritage, they broke this Ayodhya temple. There is some order of Babar Rama is one of his Senapati that do this, and they did it. And they built this mosque. Now it is mentioned in Quran, you should not worship at a place where which had another place of worship of another religion. If you worship, then your worship is not acceptable to Allah. But still they did it. Since we were ruled by Muslims and then Englishmen always kept people fighting. So there is a judgment also, English judgment, either side. So again the case was lodged, and you will be surprised to know this Mutwali, their accounting, Muslim Mutwali it is called, in which it is written that this is a place of Rama Mandir. And when the case was filed, some 14 Muslim leaders of Ayodhya had filed an affidavit, Muslim leaders, saying, give it back to Hindus, it is not ours. And for last 80 years we are not using it, it's a liability for us. It is there documented. But political parties being what they are, politicians always want an issue so that they can create sympathy and they can create a vote bank. Sit here. They can create a vote bank. The issue was dormant. But in 70s, 80s, they created a narrative for Muslims that Hindus are against you. This is a recent development after 80s. Till then, Hindus and Muslims always lived harmony. Nobody bothered. Even Hindus also didn't bother Ram Mandir, nor Muslim bothered about Babri Masjid. There is a history for 500 years. Different wars took place and sadhus were killed to save Ram Mandir. Naga Babas. Jainas have also participated in this. Kings have died just for this place, this point. When Vajpayee was Prime Minister, there was an effort to make out-of-court settlement. So Vajpayee ji talked to Kanchi Shankaracharya ji, then senior, Jayendra Saraswatiji. And he and Puja Swamiji, our Swami Dayanji, had gone to meet them, their leaders. And Puja Swamiji told that it is not a place. There is sentiment value involved in it. Like Gandhi Ashram, Ahmedabad, you cannot sell it. You cannot move from here to outside because it fetches 500 crores of rupees today. Let's build better ashram. You cannot. There is a place. So it's a sentimental value and you can have masjid somewhere else. But they didn't budget. On emotional ground, also they were not ready to listen. On religious ground also they were not ready to listen. I was fairly involved in that till the High Court judgment came. 30,000 documents were submitted by us claiming it. 3-bench judge gave a judgment, majority judgment, not unanimous, 2 against 1. And the one who gave a judgment was yo-yo judgment, saying, well, evidence shows that it was a Hindu place of worship, but there is no evidence that Babar broke it. How can you document 500 years back of an event? Babar broke it. There is circumstantial evidence. Babar issued a nama, order, but that whether order was implemented and the job was done, it is not provable. Like fishy. And that judge happened to be Muslim. He gave judgment on religious ground. And the challenge in High Court, it was in Hindus' favor, in Supreme Court. When the challenge in Supreme Court, they were playing a delayed game using the loopholes in the law. One of them was, they asked that give us translation in Urdu of all these 30,000 documents. Some of them were in British. Court wrote to central government then. Central government wrote to state government then. And state government was headed by Akhilesh Yadav, son of Mulayam Yadav. He just kept it pending. When Yogi was appointed, the first thing told to him to do was to translate this and submit it. When they submitted, then they have no way to argue it out. When nothing was there, they asked for archaeological proof, scientific proof, not religious documents. We want scientific. Some punya of Hindus, that technology, what it is called, like drone technology, they could send some camera underneath and see what it is. That is called some special technology. If you happen to know, they had done it for pyramids. The moment this was discovered, they had a lot of curiosity. What is there in pyramids? So they sent one radar, like cameras, and saw it inside. It gave her proof it is all Hindu. Still, physical excavation was demanded. We had one Professor Lal, President of Archaeological Society of India, ASI. He was such a great person that European Union Archaeological Society had honored him with a purse of 10,000 euros then for his contribution to archaeology. His only fault was he was a Hindu. Bikala. So we can't accept. Government then, Manmohan had to invite some French and Australian archaeologists. When the digging came, digging is also a technical job. You cannot have any worker who is digging my compound wall or temple foundation. Then they said, no, there are only Hindus. Muslims should be given job. We don't trust. Submitted to Supreme Court. Supreme Court sent a letter, there is no benefit of doubt should be left unaddressed. Government of India should provide Muslim workers. It took another 6 months to reply that there are no Muslim workers technically qualified to do this. Then they said, no, you should do videography of digging. Everything was videographed. Kept delaying. Finally, Chief Justice of India, Gogoi, headed by 5-judge bench, took it on a regular basis. And the judgment was obvious. It was written on the wall. It came in, and that too unanimously in favor of us. When that structure of a masjid was broken in 92-93, there was so much of noise in the country by them, so much of pressure by them, that a special bill was passed in Parliament. Actual land which is contentious is 3.67 acres, around 3 acres only. They passed a law that 70 acres of piece of land around that was taken over by central government. Though it is there, but it is a property of state. It's a concurrent constitution, like state territory. It became union territory, 70 acres. And for our goodwill, our punya, they wrote in that bill, whichever party wins the case will be given all the land. 70. That's how we got 70 acres. Actual was only 3 acre land. 2.67 or something. So less than 3. And now, with the response that public gave to this new fund, new trust in funding it, they have acquired almost more than 110 acres of land surrounding. It was a big thing, But fortunately, government is sensitive to cultural and religious issues, Yogiji being the head of the state. When they'll vacate it, they have to be given compensation and they have to be given alternative land to settle, which they like, they have to approve. It was a big exercise. Unless you take a personal interest, you cannot do it. But they did all this time and they are still doing. So, after 500 years, Hindus got back this Ram Mandir. Sense of pride for us. Because as I said, Rama is therefore an ideal for us. Because we are dharmarthi. Dharma is the main purusharth for us. Marriage is also for dharma, as I told you. You have to live a life of dharma. That is why Yudhishthira is respected, not Duryodhana. He is a dharma putra. And as I said, dharma doesn't mean belief. Dharma means duty, commitment to kartabhya. He lived. They could destroy Rama's idol, but could not destroy Rama from the hearts of Hindus. Which was there all this for death. Because I told you, Dharma is in our DNA. So Rama is in our DNA. So once they got back, there was so much of happiness. And fortunately or unfortunately for Hindus, both the events, when the judgment came, deliberately messages were given not to celebrate. There was no euphoria. It may cause tension, interreligious conflicts and riots. So they all played down. I had met meeting with Muslim leaders also in playing down and convincing them it's a court judgment and blah blah blah. And when Bhumi Pujan was done, that time there was Karuna. So Hindus never got a chance to express their feeling for Rama. So this time it was open. So much rush is now there. It's a beautiful vigraha. Two things, this concept that you are idol worshippers, Hindus are murti pujaka, that is wrong. I don't know why nobody told mullahs that so far. I have been telling this. We are not murti pujaka, we are Bhagavad pujakas. We are worshipping Bhagavan, but you need support. Like in each country has their national flag. And that citizen of the country will salute the flag. You cannot say them cloth pujakaha, vastra pujakaha. They are not worshipping the clothes. There is a word in English, transcending. The salute or the expression and hoisting the flag, it transcends the piece of cloth, emotions and song, etc. And it goes to all the martyrs who sacrificed for the country, all the heroes of the nation who built the nation. And it is a sense of national pride. That's it. But as I said, emotion requires support, form. It is like creepers. The creeper requires support to go. Emotion of love, hatred, anger, frustration, jealousy, compassion, all require a form. The tone is also a form. How you speak. Please come here. Yeah, come here. This one, to feed something. Lo, kha lo. Le, kha le. That's a different way. Expression. So, nobody salutes clothes, they salute national pride, national heroes. So, we are not idol worshippers, we are God worshippers. And they didn't understand and kept breaking all the temples. Even now they claim so many temples. I don't know what kind of emotion to call this. Very perverted it looks to me. I may be wrong. But why should you, when it is of no interest to you, no emotions to you? I would say at least immature. A child, when he has toys, and suppose some neighbor's baby comes or cousin comes and mommy says, give him that toy. No, I want to play now. Doesn't share. It is of no use to him, but I don't want you to be happy. That kind of feeling they have. And there is a lot of... So finally they made it. And since the people who were involved in the team were committed, so they have done a lot of homework in terms of structure of the temple. Because it is all sand over there. They wanted the temple to survive. So from foundation onwards, the top houses and the top research institutes were involved. Geological Institute of India, then IIT Roorkee, IIT Bombay, experts were involved to justify that, to find out what kind of foundation should be there, etc. And the Vigraha, that Murti, is something unique. Especially for Indians from North India and Gujarat, all that, we are used to having Vigraha of marble Vigrahas, which is improper. If you see all the old temples, temple 200 plus year old, you will find only black granite idols. Tirupati, black. Dwarika, same. Here, our Rajkot, Ranchodrai, same. You go to Meenakshi, same. Anywhere you go, it is black granite. Because chemically, marble is a very soft stone. It precipitates. So if you pour acid, precipitates. If there are certain colors, if it is there, then that tint will not go. Very chemically, very soft. Especially to alkaline. Anything alkaline, it destroys. Now when we do Pran Pratishtha, so there all Abhishekas have to be done. At least Panchamrutam minimum. And Panchamrutam involves dahi, curds, which is alkaline. See, if it is a marble Vigraha, and if you do daily from the top, maybe after a year you may lose eyes. Because because the flow comes like that. So all these fellows who do marble Vigraha, they don't do much of that puja. Therefore you will find there will be only decorative pieces, which is not proper. You may decorate them through clothes and all, but it is that snana, abhishekadi is important, which they hardly do, just do some water and all that. And the worst thing is they paint the eyes, marble. But after 5-10 years it goes away. And you cannot repaint it on a Pran Pratisthita idol. They do it. So I was, in our temple you will see all black granite Vigrahas. This is maybe the only one in Rajkot. And people ask me also, "Hey Swamiji, why Kale Patthar ki murti? Why black stone idol?" They don't even understand the granite. By the way, when I have met a Sthapati who has sent Vigrahas to 50% of temple in US. He is in Bangalore, Shankar Sthapati. He was telling There is a jati of the stone also. He has given me a book. I gave it to Dhanyaji because she is building the ashram. Tomorrow you can study that. There is a male stone and female stone. And there is a stone for Shiva, stone for Vishnu, stone for Ganpati, different kind. And these tapatis who make this, they do anusthanam. And then start chiseling. And after chiseling, they will do puja and do namaskar. The stone which they have chiseled. This vigraha, when sent from Tamil Nadu, Puja Swamiji had fixed up somebody. They had done puja and it came with chandanam, kumkumam and flowers. Then it is God. The only disadvantage, so-called for modern people, disadvantage, that you don't get so much of expressive feeling in the Sri Vigraha when it is told. Unless the artisan is very natural or great. But this Rama Vigraha is something unique. That Sthapati has done. It's a live Sri Vigraha. Very live. The project may take another 10 years. Minimum. Unless they go on a war footing like this. Then also 3 to 4 years. The main temple is there, but with 125 acres, you have to have all infrastructure. And even today, 4 to 5 lakhs people coming, and they want to have annakshetra there, free food. That is our culture. Temple, free food is available. The minimum 1 lakh people eating daily. They are expected, they want to have infrastructure to feed 1 lakh people daily. That was projected. I hope after seeing the rush, they will plan for 2 lakhs. Because number of people coming. And Hindus have so much of value for prasada. Even if they can afford in a hotel, but they will go there eat. Prasad to lena hai. Here we have one Jalaram Bapa. There is one Jalaram, most popular devta across the globe today. There is a free food is available. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. Simple but available. So if you go there, you go for darshanam, but you cannot and should not come out without taking prasad. That's Satyanarayan Katha. Sadhu Vani, Lilavati, Kalavati. So there is a feeling and people take. So minimum 2 lakhs. Then so many people coming, they have to provide for accommodation. Graded accommodation. VIP and VVIP. They need to provide for parking. Minimum 1,000 cars. Actually, planned thinking is 5,000 car parking and 500 buses parking. Roads, internal transport, it will be like whole Tirupati, Balaji complex. You have to do all that. So it will take a lot of time to complete the whole project, but done very well as of now. The temple and the Sri Vigraha. There was a lot of debate when the temple was built. Should we do as per modern technology or traditional? Traditional concept of temple building is you should not use any metal. It should be only stone structure. All traditional temples are nothing but stone. Now the problem in a stone structure is you don't get a span. Like our temple, there is a span of 45 feet, 50 feet long. You can't find a column of 55 feet long. And to hold it, it cannot be. So the generally span is 20 to 25 feet, maximum 30. And that also have to have a support, pillars. So the width inside, so that so many people can do darshanam at a time, is not as much as it could have been in new technology called RCC technology, reinforced cement concrete. In RCC, you can have a span of 100 feet also, without any column in between. But they went for tradition. So the rush becomes like our highways, 8-lane highway, suddenly only 2 lanes are working. So when they come to temple, there is going to be rush. That is what is happening more so now. They have to regulate the traffic, and devotees want prasadam from temple also. It's a big industry. But it's a first thing in the world, that way our dharma and our culture is reflected. See, India had, even after independence, worse times, but we never had a revolt in the army. We never went for dictatorship. Similarly, though injustice was done, India didn't become aggressive to kill them and take possession. We got it legally. That way, international image is very good. You might have noticed, none of the Muslim nation has raised voice against us. They are very powerful, rich as Dubai and whole UAE, very rich guys, Bahrain and all that. Nobody said anything. But it is legitimately done. So we waited 500 years for getting justice. And Jews still have no justice, though such a powerful country. They still have that wailing wall. Jews go to that wall and wail. They chant their Torah, but in a very melancholic way, because it's an expression of pain. We said. It's going to be a big challenge, because you see, people compare India and America and all that, but America is a new country.
Born 500 years ago. It's a planned country. These cities are
thousands and thousands years old. Because there is a reference of Ayodhya in Ramayana. By the way, Ayodhya was capital of Raja Harishchandra. There is Harish Ghat, in Kashi Vishwanath. Harishchandra Ghat, there is a mention that king. He was the Purvaja of Rama, some 20 generations ahead. And it is mentioned in Ramayana itself, Ayodhya was the capital of Manu, Raja Manu. Since then it was coming down. So cities are old. Before 200 years, 5,000 years, just 200-300 years ago, people never envisioned that there will be so much of traffic and technology. They never thought these big roads are required. Even after planning, you go to New York and certain parts of New Jersey, traffic is a problem, because it's growing phenomenally. So our cities are very congested, roads are narrow, parking is not there, all the issues are there. That's why it is going to be a big challenge. Because you may improve the infrastructure of that 100-acre you have, but what about the other infrastructure? Approach and all that. It's a challenge. But I think as long as Modi and Yogi are there, they will take care of it. This I'll answer tomorrow, it is there. It is I'm going to talk about. Okay. Shubharatri. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.